knowledge is power is a statement that hasn't really been given quite the recognition I believe it truly deserves. The phrase is commonly attributed to Francis Bacon, who, from what I understand, was an English philosopher sometime in the late 1500s, so given the phrase has such an early origin, it's most likely accurate to say the truth withstands the test of time. To pay homage to such an incredibly historical phrase, I decided to take this as an opportunity to explore its applicability in the society that we live in now. The odds that we're alive today in a time where technological advances enable us to access seemingly endless information from the palm of our hands are unfathomably stacked against us. It's nothing short of a shining example of something we should all be eternally grateful for. Our collective knowledge has enabled the Industrial Revolution, and within the time frame of only a few generations, this revolution has given us a virtual library that hosts mankind's entire collection of knowledge, and the majority of the world is now in possession of this library. Indeed, this is a reality we live in that history's greatest minds would both cherish and fear it. And what this revolution has also given us is the unprecedented ability to communicate with anyone, anywhere, at any time. And over time, as technology slowly evolved and eventually enabled the ability to communicate ideas and share different forms of media with larger groups in society, hence the term social media. Now, this technology is a powerful tool that's used with purpose, and like most tools, it can be used constructively or destructively. To use this tool responsibly means to use it with a constructive purpose to create a more peaceful and prosperous society in this world. However, our human nature seems to dissolve our ability to maintain the virtue of civility towards one another. And social media has played a major role in shining light on this reality. We've come to be more aware of the frequency in which people exercise the lifestyle or take part in discussion of a socially or religious prohibited practice. This is considered taboo by nature, by definition. Which, taboo, it's an interesting concept. The word itself seems to provoke a strange feeling just by saying it. You can almost sense an eerie presence when you acknowledge all that it encompasses. At times, it can be a dangerous area of discussion because of the social and philosophical ramifications. It's difficult to participate in or host such a conversation because the topic is usually misunderstood by so many, and I think that's why it's so difficult to talk about taboo subjects. It's too easy to fail, and failure to be correct while discussing a taboo topic has more of a social impact than any other form of discussion. One important thing that I think would be helpful to do is note that the human species has a peculiar nature about them. If we can understand and accept the fact that our species has a strange thought process and behavior, then perhaps it would be more likely that hosting a discussion of a taboo nature would be a much more forgiving task. We have a tendency to disassociate ourselves with one who has been known to engage in a taboo lifestyle. And that could be a potentially self-defeating habit because it's likely that we learn more about human nature from someone who has already accepted theirs. Learning about human nature will give you the ability to tame the more destructive elements of your nature and ensure the prosperity of the positive. This will ultimately enable you the capacity to demonstrate a higher level of civility. The flaws that's embedded in our genes makes the task of embarking on a synchronized social journey that leads to world peace a daunting one. The trick to taming our destructive behavior is to understand and gain knowledge of its origins in the first place. Learning to understand and accept ourselves is the first step to understanding and accepting others. We're these strange little creatures wandering around with seemingly nothing but our natural instincts to drive us. We have no business with this level of power until we rekindle the relationship that we once had with our nature and learn to tame its destructive elements. It's of the utmost importance that we gain knowledge for why we do the things we do in the first place. To make the world a better home, we must first make our home a better world. And I believe to do that, we need to seek wisdom, we need to learn what love really is, and we should apply it every day, every chance we get.